Today, former President Trump published this op-ed in Newsweek. I will make America great again for young people. It is filled with a lot of amazing claims, but my favorite is Trump touting his credentials by saying that under his leadership, the price of gasoline went down to $1.87 a gallon. That is amazing because the only time the national average gas price dropped that low under President Trump was in March of 2020. What else was happening in March of 2020?
One place you can expect to find a bit of relief during this pandemic is at the pump. The coronavirus has been driving down gas prices.
The good news is gas is incredibly cheap right now, $2.23 at this station just outside of Chicago. The bad news is many Americans aren't able to take advantage of it, especially in states like Illinois where shelter-in-place orders have been implemented.
You might be paying attention to the gas prices falling, but we wanted to know if coronavirus could spread onto the gas pumps that you are touching. Turns out it sure can.
Joining me now is my friend and on-air neighbor and colleague, Chris Hayes, host of All In with Chris Hayes right here on MSNBC and host of the Why Is This Happening with pod.
Correct.
That I have yet to be invited onto, but we'll talk about that later off camera. It's one way to lower gas prices, right? I mean, you may mismanage a global pandemic and...
What's great about that is that there's perfect continuity between that and the TikTok you played where she's talking about how cheap everything is in 1930. And it's like, yeah, stuff was cheap
Yes.
in 1930, like for sure.
Everything else was kind of falling apart.
Cheap in 1930. But this sort of gets at the point, I think, a number of points. One is... people don't like rising prices, and prices have been rising. So it's some level like it's not super rocket science, right? Like that level of frustration. And even when you say, look, the prices have been, inflation's been coming down. Inflation is the rate of growth. The rate of growth has been coming down. So like people are not noticing rates of growth; they're noticing levels. But at the same time, when you're thinking about like the question of has this person done a good job in macroeconomic policy? The comparison set, which is every OECD country and every peer country, we are doing so much better than everyone. And the reason, again, this gets back to the coronavirus point. The reason things have been hard to manage is because we had a once-in-a-century disruption. That thing that happened in March in 2020, which is, I think, for a variety of reasons, been underappreciated in its after effects.
Yeah, I mean, people don't want to hear about it. They're like tired of hearing about it, and they are not looking at it as a causal sort of.
That's exactly right. It's like, oh, it's 2023. What do you mean, like that? Like houses are expensive now because of coronavirus? It's like, right, houses are expensive now because we had huge inflation, so the Fed hiked rates.
And the rates are going to come down, and that will create a seller's market. And
right,
then
but
it's also
like,
the housing stock still not going to get. We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
But I also think it speaks to a larger, weirder, more intractable dynamic between Republicans and Democrats. Right? Biden is shepherding through this economy that is actually incredibly good on its face.
Yes.
And yet he has to deal with the vibe session.
Yeah.
Right? They're this kind of ephemeral, unspoken, but very real narrative that things are not good. Trump is literally lying about his accomplishments in the pages of Newsweek and has the confidence of the party. Like what?
Well, first of all, we saw this a little bit in the polling where there's a huge partisan split. So there were Democrats who in 2019 would be like, yeah, the economy's good under Trump. Whereas the day that Biden became president, it was like, so your Republicans are just going to answer in a purely partisan terms. So you've already got this weird weighting that's happening in the polling.
Yes, but then why don't Democrats answer in a purely partisan?
Right, because they're different, right? Because there's a huge asymmetry. And I think also it gets this point about, when you talk about 2020 and Trump, I do think that one of the weirdest dynamics that set in that is creating the vibe session is like Donald Trump was president in 2020, right? Like do people know that? You know that, right? Like it's like everyone, because it was so traumatic, everyone like is just cut off 2020 from their memory and put it in some lock vault, some box. And so it's like people are like 29 things are pretty good under Donald Trump in 2019.
Right.
But it's like
lacuna. It
is a complete lacuna. And so there's this weird effect that set in because the macroeconomy in 2019 was doing pretty well. It had finally dug out from a decade, that had been lost. It had been set on its path by Barack Obama. It had sort of gone up. Donald Trump had done things to mess with it that didn't successfully mess with it. And so you've got this very weird situation, which because of the intensity of the trauma of COVID.
Yeah.
I really think people have this strange attenuated sense of it and whether it existed or not and who was responsible for what.
Well, and I also just think when you are punching at shadows, like something that's being called in the pages of the New York Times a vibe session, it makes it incredibly difficult to combat that narrative.
Yes, and you particularly see this in the coverage where there is this constant focus on whatever the next negative thing is. So it's like, you know, you'll see people be like, eggs. Eggs are so expensive. Eggs and bacon are so expensive. Turkeys, you're going to pay through the... This year, turkeys were lower than their 2019 price. Eggs are down in real terms. I mean, not like they've gone up less, like they're actually down. No one does the local news story about, look how cheap eggs are.
Yeah.
Right? So you've got this one-way ratchet. And, you know, we say in the business we don't cover the planes that land. Like, there is a disposition towards negative news.
Yes.
Right?
I mean, I haven't covered the price of eggs, cheap eggs.
Exactly.
Ever.
You haven't done... Right, because who's going to lead their segment with, like, eggs are cheap? But it's I have done eggs are cheap.
You are doing the yeoman's work of the Biden administration, but it makes this campaign remarkably complicated for this president.
It is, except for this. And you saw this in some of the New York Times reporting on this, where they went and they talked to voters who are Biden voters and are disapproving the economy. There actually is a pretty good story to tell.
Yeah.
I mean, I really say this as someone who's very invested in domestic and macroeconomic policy, who's had very strong views on them for more than a decade. I've been working in journalism and have watched mistakes made at the highest level in the wake of the Great Recession, the Obama administration.
Yep.
There is a very good story to tell about navigating an impossible set of challenges, basically better than any other leadership in the world over the last 3.5 years.
Yeah, that's the key. It's compared to everybody else, too. And, well, I mean, there's always the Republican Party that's quite good at shooting itself in the foot. I mean, if they knew what was good for them in 2024, it'd be all economy all the time. But instead, they have to keep going back to social issues and abortion.
And Donald Trump was just like, hey, we're also going to get rid of Obamacare, which is just like the most incredible gift to the Democratic Party.
So there's always that. Chris Hayes, my friend, thank you for staying late this Wednesday evening. I appreciate you and your egg reporting.
Thank you.